What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. We're back almost immediately for a 5 takeaways. Producer T went ham to get us a 5 takeaways video up to discuss the game that we just saw between England and Germany, where England has won 2-1 in the round of 16 to move on to the quarterfinals in what was one of the most atrocious coaching displays you will almost ever see from Jurgen Löw. It was painful, it was sad, and we're here to break it down. It'll be a type of community takeaways where we'll get your guys' opinion on the match as well. But yeah, I don't know. Some of you guys said you missed the 5 takeaways. I feel like it was fair to get the game back going, to get some immediate, fresh opinions. So if you guys have a takeaway you want to toss in, feel free to do so, because I have a few. I have some takeaways to take from this, and I mean, let's just address the elephant in the room right away, and that elephant is Jurgen Löw, and man, I don't know. This is just unbelievable. So, I guess one way to look at it, our first takeaway is Jurgen Löw, and it's the fact that this coaching display was absolutely painful. Not only did he not adjust the formation, the tactics whatsoever, because it was not working. England was defending well. England brought the game to Germany, which a lot of people before the game thought that Germany was going to bring the game to England. England lined up in that awkward 3-4-3, and maybe it threw Germany off. I don't know. The Germans lined up in their own kind of 3-4-2-1, and guess what? In that formation, head-to-head, England were the better team. They were the better team by far. And Jurgen Löw did something incredible, which was in the Hungary game, he switched his shape. He switched the same personnel on the pitch into the 4-3-3, something he absolutely could have done in this game, and he chose against it. And to add insult to injury, moving forward in the match, when things were clearly not working, instead of going to someone who could maybe put the ball in the back of the net, because I think Kevin Volland got shit on this tournament, he left Timo Werner out there, who guess what, missed a one-on-one. He left Thomas Müller out there, who guess what, missed a one-on-one. And he didn't go to the bench to bring on attacking talent until the last dying embers of the match, where the game was already set and matched. This game, I'm not saying Germany was a better team and they deserved to win. I'm saying Jurgen Löw gave the squad almost no chance. He was very inflexible about his movement. He did nothing with his tactics, nothing with his formation, and basically allowed England to cruise to an easy 2-0 victory. And it was atrocious to watch. It was sad to watch. And Mr. Carlson is here and says, disrespectful. Löw is a fraud. Löw is going to have a heyday on Twitter, man. He's going to have a heyday on Twitter. But it was some of the most frustrating coaching I've ever seen. And again, I mean, shout out to England. Southgate, you got it right. But I still feel like this game could have been a lot closer on the grand scheme of things if, indeed, Jurgen Löw at least attempted to stay in the match, which he just clearly didn't do. But let me know what you guys think. Put in some takeaways. And if you're just joining us, drop a like on the stream. We're doing a nice community 5 takeaways here to dissect and digest what Jurgen Löw did wrong. We said F Löw. Löw is sheet. Musiala needed to come on earlier. Yes, we'll make that our second takeaway. I mean, substitutions could have easily been a takeaway, but Musiala came on in the Hungary match and made a world of difference. They needed that draw, and he enlightened that little bit of spark. And to be fair to Jurgen Löw, he came on a little bit earlier in the Hungary game. He basically took every bit of information he learned from the Hungary game and pissed it away. He changed his shape in the second half of the Hungary game. He brought on subs when needed, and he went on. He got the result he needed. Did not touch his shape. Moved on further along in the game. Brought on Jamal Musiala when there was absolutely no point of even bringing him on. And again, no offense to Emre Can. We love Emre Can. But if you were going to bring Emre Can on, you should have maybe brought him on at halftime for Ginter, who was on a yellow. Don't bring him on in the dying embers and then play him at outside center back. You absolutely should have brought on, in my opinion, Kevin Volland, someone who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, more than Werner and more than Thomas Müller do right now. And afterwards, of course, he brought on Sané when it was a little bit too late. I don't know. The substitutions were just painful to watch, to say the least. Bring on more important subs, and you could have made an impact. Gnabry should have came on earlier. And why was Werner even starting? I mean, yes, the starting 11 was a little bit questionable, in my opinion. I don't know if I mean, clearly Volland never would have started. He was not preferred by Jurgi Löw. That's expected. But I still think that when you're looking at someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, I would trust Volland on those one-on-ones before I would trust Muller, before I would trust Gnabry, before I would trust Sane. But is what it is. Is what it is. One takeaway, the subs needed to be on and be given enough time to make an impact. I think that's a valuable one. That's a very valuable one. I got Corona from Jurgi Löw's decisions. We could have went with the 4-2-3-1. Yeah, and in taking that point, we'll take our third takeaway. And our third takeaway is Jurgi Löw's stubbornness. I mean, I knew that the 4-2-3-1 probably wouldn't have been put into effect. And I also knew the fact that Kevin Volland wouldn't have got a look. And I'm not saying that Kevin Volland absolutely deserved to start every game, but Jurgi Löw is very stubborn. He doesn't want to make those hard, challenging decisions, and it cost us because he went with players who just didn't fit. And when you're looking at a game where you need to win and you need to take those chances when they happen, it just didn't happen this year. It just didn't happen, and you knew going into this game he was going to go with that back three. Kimmich wasting away on a right wing back, even though he wasn't the issue, but he could have been so much more influential in the middle of the park beside Goretzka, beside Toni Kroos. And it was just frustrating from head to toe. So him being stubborn, him not being willing to kind of evolve, I don't know. I'm a simple guy. I see JJD TV, I leave a like. James, you're a beautiful man. If you guys are just joining us, drop a like. Man, I am pissed. I am pissed as well. I mean, to be fair, England deserved it. England were the better team. My frustration lies in the fact that Jurgi Löw gave his team almost no chance to move on, man. Jonathan Martinez joins us, says, do you think a false 9, Muller as center forward, Gnabry and Sane on the wings would have worked? Maybe. It was a formation I was crying out for earlier. I said you could have played Sane and you could have played Gnabry on the wings, and you could have had your choice between Thomas Muller and Havertz as your center forward. I could have went with that. I really think that they missed an opportunity with Kevin Volland. Now, I may be wrong. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I watched Kevin Volland a good chunk this season, and he was in an incredible goal-scoring form. Guess who wasn't in incredible goal-scoring form? Timo Werner. Timo Werner missed a one-on-one. I mean, more times than not, you're not going to find Thomas Muller in a one-on-one position, but you found him in one today. He missed a one-on-one. I bet you if you find Kevin Volland in those one-on-ones, he puts the ball in the back of the net. Because that's exactly what he should have been like. That's exactly the type of player he is. And they missed an opportunity. And they didn't even bring him on, period. They decided to go for Emre Can later in the game than bringing on a striker to make any type of difference. And then they made it 2-0 and the game was over. I think Flick will change it. I do too, man. I think Flick's gonna have a heyday because there's a lot of talent in this squad. It just needs to be really addressed the right kind of way. Here's some takeaways from a viewer. He says, bring subs on earlier. Absolutely agree. Bring a goal scorer, not a midfielder. I absolutely agree. Why Timo Werner is starting? And again, it's for me, I agree. I don't think Timo Werner should have started. But looking at the match, I could almost promise you that they're going to play the 3-4-3 and that Volland wouldn't start. Because I was crying for Volland all tournament. We never really saw him. We never really had that number 9 mentality that we needed. And in a game like this, we miss 2 one-on-ones and we lose 2-0. It's tough, but you're saying Volland needed to come on and Löw's stubbornness. And I agree, my man. Those are basically the quick 5 takeaways. Löw's stubbornness to adapt, to change his tactics. It's a big reason why he got hurt, which was so surprising that he actually addressed it in the Hungary game. He decided to switch shape and move Kimmich to the middle and bring on substitutions when they were needed. Didn't do that in this game, and Germany really didn't look like they had much going for it, man. Josh, who are you rooting for now? I'm going to go for Switzerland and Belgium. I'm going to go for Belgium because, like I said, I mean, the Dortmund players, we got 3 of them on Belgium, and I picked them in my bracket, so. But I would like to see Denmark. As a neutral, you want to see Denmark go for it, but it was frustrating, man. Volland would have challenged more than Werner. I agree with you, man. English back 3 were really strong. They were, and like I said, I don't want to take anything away from England because I do think that they had a good game. I do think that they did the right tactics, right defending. Kudos. As easy as that. Kudos to England. They did it right. I just think that Jurgi Löw could have made it a little bit harder on them. And I think it was an opportunity missed. And now England's cruising on with an easy route, relatively easy route to the finals. How does Gnabry and Sané start on the bench? I mean, to be fair, Sané has been poor, and honestly, Gnabry hasn't been that good either. But again, if you're looking for any type of movement from the front three, I mean, there was just no chemistry. There was no nothing, no linkability, no number 9, no clinical finishing. The front three was tough. It was a tough game, but I agree, man. I agree. And from that, Germany crash out. Jurgen Löw is going to leave once again with a very sour taste after a major tournament. And Hansi Flick has got a lot of work to do, but I think he's the right man to come in to try to turn this national team around. A lot of big misses, but yeah, sum it up one last time before we roll on. The big takeaways is the fact that low stubbornness, inability to change tactics. You can question the starting 11, whether Werner deserved to be there. There was no nothing going forward, man. There was no nothing going forward. I think Kevin Volland should have been given a look. The only real number 9 that was on form that you could have really went there. The substitutions, the gameplay, the game management for Jurgen Löw was very poor, and the fact that there was no even attempt to switch up the shape. There was no attempt to make a difference, and you're bringing on players left, right, and center at the very end, the burning embers of the game, instead of addressing the situation earlier. And then again, Emre Can instead of Kevin Volland. I don't know. It is what it is. It was a fun little adventure, I guess, for the Germans, but it's a tough decision. But I appreciate everyone who tuned in for the watch along. It was a lot of fun. Our next watch along will be Friday. It'll be Belgium. It'll be Italy. It'll be a banger. I'm assuming most of the people on the channel will probably now be going for Belgium, but Italy will be a good shout as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in for the 5 takeaways. I miss doing these segments. They will be back for the start of the season. So we appreciate it, my friends, spending some time with us today. Hopefully you enjoyed the other game going on today. And yeah, is what it is. Drop a like on your way out. Subscribe if you guys are new, and we will see you next time.